Good morning, class 7. So we are starting new chapter, that is your second chapter, motion. So you must be understanding the meaning of the word motion. That is anything that which is moving, we say that it is in motion. So everything around us is either in motion or at rest, right? So you can observe things around you. For example, plants, trees, table, chair, these are stationary things, and the people roaming around the house, or fan, or uh, any other thing, a bike, a car, these are in motion. Okay, so motion is always relative. What does this mean? Suppose you are sitting in a train, you are simply sitting in the train and the train is moving. Okay, then the person sitting next to you will find that you are at rest. He will say that this boy or girl is simply sitting over here, right? But if you are observed by a person from outside the train, a person who is standing outside the train will say that this person is moving, right? And what about you? You, while you are sitting inside the train, you will find that the trees are moving in the opposite direction in which you are moving, right? But a person outside the train will find that the trees are stationary. So motion is relative. For some person, a thing can appear to be in motion, but for the same thing can appear to be at rest for some other person. Okay, so you can see here it is written, when the position of an object with respect to the other objects around it does not change with time, we say that it is at rest. So when do we call anything at rest? When the position of an object does not change with respect to the surroundings. Okay, so that means when anything which you are observing, suppose we are talking about a table, so the table is not moving, its position is not changing with respect to the other things around it. Okay, then we say that it is at rest. And when the position of a particular object keeps on changing with respect to the surroundings, then we say it is in motion. Okay, so that is why we say motion is relative, because it is something with respect to the surroundings. Okay, so in the similar way, you must have gone into a say merry-go-round. This is uh, something that moves in a circular motion. So when you're sitting in it, you will see that everything around you, you feel like it is moving. So that is actually not moving, but because you are moving in that way, that is why you find that everything around you is moving. Everything is in motion. So a person or an observer judges his or his surroundings, assuming himself to be at rest. You, when you are in a merry-go-round, what you feel that you are at rest, you feel that I am at rest, but my surroundings are moving. But actually your surrounding is at rest, you only are moving, but you feel that you are at rest but others are moving. Okay, so whenever we are judging something, we are observing something, we assume that we are at rest. Okay, so an observer judges his surroundings assuming that he himself is at rest. Thus, when he moves in a certain direction, he feels that everything around him is moving in the opposite direction. So whenever you are moving in a train, you find that all the things on the road are moving in the opposite direction, right? You find that all trees and everything, they are uh, moving in the you are moving forward and they are moving in the backward direction. Right, then there is the types of motion. So there are number of types of motion. This I have one picture over here, this. So you can make this chart and this will be easier for you to understand. See, types of motion. So a motion has can be classified into two types. First, it can be broadly classified into two: random motion and regular motion. So what is a random motion? A motion that has no fixed pattern. For example, a fly, it won't move in a particular direction, no, it will be moving anywhere around. A mosquito, okay. So and the other one is regular motion. So a regular motion is something that is having a particular pattern, okay. So regular motions can be categorized into a number of others. For example, translatory motion, rotatory motion, oscillatory, circular motion, periodic motion, and these are the types of regular motion. So what is a translatory motion? Whenever our body is moving along a straight line, okay, that is called a translatory motion, okay. Rotatory motion, when something is rotating or turning or spinning. For example, a fan, it is a rotatory motion. Or earth, it rotates at its own axis. Then, or you can say when you open a tap, okay, what do? You rotate you turn its knob, right? So these are the examples of rotatory motion. Then oscillatory motion, it is a repetitive motion. This we will discuss in detail. You might have seen the pendulum of a clock. That is the example of an oscillatory motion. Then circular motion. What is a circular motion? When something is moving in a circular path. Suppose you're riding a bicycle in a circular motion. Okay. Or what you can do, you just tie a stone in a string and then hold the other end of the string and start rotating it. Then what will happen? The stone is having a circular motion. It will move around in a circular motion. Then periodic motion, it is another type of regular motion when something is uh, moving in a fixed interval of time. That is called a periodic motion. So these we will discuss in details. I was just telling you the types. That is why I have taken this chart. And then translatory motion is again having two types. One is rectilinear motion, other one is curvilinear motion. Rectilinear motion, when something is moving in a straight line, and curvilinear motion when something is moving along a smooth curve. So actually for translatory motion you can say both the things, when something is moving along a straight line or along a smooth curve, okay. So that is a normal motion that we do when you are riding a bicycle or you are going on a car. We are having a translatory motion. We are either moving in a straight line or we are turning around, just turning around a smooth curve, right? So that is a curvilinear motion. That turning is not the same as you're turning the tap, mind it. Okay, we will discuss that in detail, then it will be much more clear to you all. Okay, so let us discuss a few types in this lecture. So let us come to the translatory motion. So when an object moves from one point to another along a straight line or a smooth curve, its motion is called translatory motion. It can be of two types, rectilinear and curvilinear. We have just discussed this. Motion of a body along a straight line is called rectilinear motion, right? And motion along a body in a smooth curve is a curvilinear motion. So example of rectilinear motion: vehicles moving on a straight road, athletes running on a straight track, and any object thrown straight up or falling vertically down. These are all the motions in straight line. Then the motion of a body along a curved path is called curvilinear motion. Whenever a vehicle turns from one road to another. Now, I just told you about this, that whenever we are turning, suppose in a car, then the car is having a curvilinear motion. Any object thrown in any direction other than the vertical also follows a curvilinear path. Suppose you just throw a ball, and it will, you if you observe its path, it will be a curved path, okay. That path is called as the curvilinear path. Then rotatory motion, when an object turns or rotates or spins about an axis. So if you are confused with rotatory motion and circular motion, you can simply remember that when you're talking about rotatory motion, that particular thing is moving at its own axis. Okay, for example, fan. When a fan, you switch on the fan, what happens? It moves or rotates around the that rod along which it is hung. Okay, that is its axis. It is not rotating all over your roof. Okay, it is just rotating about its own axis, that is the rod on which it is hung. So the rotation of the earth about its own axis is of rotatory motion. Then fans, food processors, wheels, pulley, okay, wheel of a car or any bicycle, or these are, what are they doing? That particular wheel is rotating at its own axis. Okay, then what else can be the example? Pulleys and a mixer. You might have seen at home, the machine inside it, the blades, they are rotating around. Okay, and you must be having that, what you say, the fidget spinner you all play, that also rotates at its own axis, if you remember, right? So these are some types of motion. And then we have to take oscillatory motion. This needs a little more explanation, so this we will be taking in the next lecture. By the time, please read what I have told you today, and I will be sending you some pictures from the notes that I have written. Okay, so please go through all these things. That's all for today. Bye, children.